Hi everybody, I'm Joey, and well, today we'll be making this solid maple chest of drawers. And well, that's really what it is, so stick around and see how I made it. Now, this video is getting longer, and they seem to be getting longer even though I'm trying to kind of reduce what I'm showing you guys, but projects seem to be more complicated. I don't know. Anyway, I'll stop talking. See you later. So as usual, I started out by dressing up most of the timber. And finished jointing the boards together by hand, because my large joint is not quite perfect enough. You can see there's still some rough pieces on the boards, and I've left that so I could flatten out the large boards in the drum sander, and all that roughness kind of gets taken away in that process. And while that's gluing up, I can get on to making the drawer frames. And flatten them out in the sander. And cut the carcass panels to their final size. And I could start laying out the dovetails for the top corners of the carcass. My tenon saw was a bit dull, so I gave it a bit of a lick up with the file, which isn't great, but at least I could get through the maple with it. And I could transfer the pins over onto the top piece of the carcass. And I used a jigsaw to cut out most of the waste. The only thing you need to be careful about is not to carry on and cut off one of the pins, but otherwise it works pretty well. And then I used a straight edge to get a nice clean cut on the joint line. And the bottom panel will be half blind dovetailed onto the sides of the carcass. So I just put a rebate on the sides and it lets me do the joinery a bit easier. So then I could lay out the where the dados were going to go for the drawer dividers. And it was right about now when the client walked in and saw these dark patches on the maple and told me to cut them out. So that was a bit of a bugger. The main problem was that it didn't have any other timber from those boards, so the colour match is not awesome. But that's what he wanted. Well, with that done, I could carry on and start cutting the dados.
So I'll be using this side rebate plane by H&T Gordon, and it's got this nice little dovetail fence that attaches. I've got a left and a right plane, and I'll be making these dados into sliding dovetails. And I could start now on the plinth. Now the point of difference, I guess, with this plinth is that it's going to have wheels hidden underneath it. And the client wants to be able to wheel this set of drawers around, which makes sense because it's going to be pretty heavy. I'll be joining the front corners of the plinth together with these through dovetails with the mitered top edge. And I use the bandsaw just to cut out some of the waste, make my chiseling a little faster. And the back corners of the plinth, I've just made a small, simple half-blind dovetail. And the wheels are going to be sitting on these 45-degree brackets that go across the corners of the plinth. So I needed to put a tongue on these, which will go into the groove on the inside of the plinth. Some of the joinery on this plinth with it was a little gappy, so a bit of sawdust and glue did the trick. I needed a 10mm rebate on the back edge to take the tongue and groove backing boards. But before that I could cut the drawer frames down to size and start with the reasonably tedious process of fitting the sliding dovetails. And some of them were a little tight to get in, but yeah, that's alright. For the drawer sides and the backs, I'm using Victorian ash. This is a really nicely quarter sawn, and it's 26mm thick, skip planed, so I'm able to get about 12mm after I rip it in half. And so I put it through the thicknesser just to take off the worst of the bandsaw marks, and then through my drum sander just to try and take a few more marks off. But I didn't want to lose too much thickness. I ended up with kind of 10.5, 11 mil. So I finished smoothing it by hand with my 112 scraper plane. And I could fit the drawer fronts. I can roughly cut out the handle holes. And then I screwed a pattern onto the back of the drawer front and was able to route the shape to that. And then after that I changed my bit to a 45-degree chamfer bit just to take the back edge off. And it makes a nice pretty look on the inside. Not that anyone's going to see it. And then for the drawer side dovetails, I made up this template, which is really just a spacing template. And then I would mark out the tails properly on the drawer side and cut them out by hand. And then it was time to stack up all the sides, put on a podcast, and start chiseling. And then I could groove the drawer sides and the drawer front. And then do all the back corner dovetails, just doing full through dovetails there. and I'm using 6mm birch ply for the drawer bottoms. And then spent quite a bit of time getting the drawers to fit just right. And I'm using a water-based polyurethane. Thanks for sticking around, everyone. See you next time.